Hey, let's get rocking and rolling. Today we are going to start talking about special quadrilaterals, right? Quadrilateral is a four-sided figure, and we are going to specifically talk about a handful of shapes over the next couple days. We're going to start out with parallelograms. So we're just going to use the same notes. As you can see, here are all the shapes that we're talking about. All right, these are special four-sided figures, and our focus today is just introducing parallelograms. All right, parallelogram by definition is a four-sided figure or quadrilateral that has two pairs of parallel sides. So properties right here, opposite sides are parallel, opposite sides are congruent, opposite angles are congruent, consecutive angles are supplementary. They add to 180. We're going to use the idea of same-sided interior angles when we talk about that today. I'll show you what I mean. And then the diagonals bisect each other or cut each other in half. Okay, so let's just kind of look at pictures on how we can view our parallelogram here quick with these properties. All right, so we draw our parallelogram. The first one says opposite sides are parallel. So we could draw the properties pictorially like this. So you can throw a picture in there for that if you'd like. Okay. Opposite sides are also congruent. So got tick marks and tick marks. Tick marks and tick marks. Opposite sides are congruent, right? Opposite angles are congruent. And then for the opposite or consecutive angles, those are angles right next to each other. Okay, we're going to go back to parallel line unit. Same side interior angles, right? We had corresponding alternate interior, alternate exterior, and same side interior. Well, same side interior were the only pair of the four where they were supplementary. Well, what do we have here? We have parallel lines cut by the transversal, right? So these are the parallel lines cut by the transversal. That means consecutive angles going up and down are supplementary, or consecutive angles going left and right are supplementary. And so they add up to 180. And then last but not least, the diagonals. When you draw the diagonals in, the diagonals cut each other in half. So this one is congruent to this part, and this part is congruent to that part. So the diagonals bisect each other. So what I did is I just downloaded the notes and the worksheet together, and we're just going to practice a couple of our of these properties, and then you can finish the rest, right? So nice basic ones. Here's a number. They give me 40 degrees. It's an angle. So there are two things we know about parallelograms, right? We know that the opposite angles are congruent and consecutive angles add to 180. Well, these angles are opposite of each other. They are congruent. So angle U is equal to 40 degrees. Right? They give us 12. 12 in this case is a side length. Well, what do they give us about side lengths in our properties? So they give us opposite sides are congruent. So ZW equals 12. And then number 3, they give us 97. Our question marks here. 97 is a degree measure. So we either are using the opposite angles are congruent or consecutive angles add up to 180. And what we have here is we have angles right next to each other in order, Q then P. So then that is adding to 180. So question mark plus 97 equals 180, or just do 180 minus 97. Q is equal to 83 degrees. All right, and then sometimes they give us expressions instead of numbers. Well, we have to do opposite sides are congruent. So in these cases, you take the property, and congruent is also the same as equal or very, very similar to. And then we go through our algebra and solve. We get x is equal to 5. So VU is here. 5 plus 2 is equal to 7. So VU equals 7. We'll do one angles bisect. Okay? Or diagonal, sorry. So right here, parallelogram. So what do I know? I know this piece and this piece are the same. And I know this piece and this piece are the same. So it says find AM and AO. Well, they give us the whole length is 14. So that means AM is equal to half of that, and AO is equal to half of that because the diagonals bisect each other. Find PN. Well, how am I going to use this one? Well, the diagonals bisect each other, so the diagonal pieces are equal to each other. So I'll set that up, and then you guys can practice solving on your own. So that's just applying the properties of parallelograms. Know what they are, because as you can see, I left you 3.5 problems to complete. Use the property. Either you're setting them equal to each other, or you are adding them together to equal 180, depending on which angle pair. So good luck. Go back through and always review these. And as we go through the week, I would just keep adding your new worksheet to this, and then we'll add all the information that we have on here as we go through as well.